What is going on, guys? Brian Nelson here, and for the last few days I've been testing out the Canon EOS RP. Mostly I was just really curious about what the fuss was about this camera and why Canon released a smaller brother to the EOS R. So I decided to rent the RP, give it a shot, see what it's good for, see what it's not good for, and help you out decide if you need the RP or the R, because there's about $1,000 price difference in the two. And the RP, for whatever reason, comes with the EF lens adapter that I have here on my R. But we're talking about the RP, so let's take a look. Okay, quick rundown on the specs. It's about a 26 megapixel camera. It shoots 4K, but only at 24 frames per second. Not a huge deal for me, but it may be a big deal for other people. It also shoots 1080-60 and 1080-30, not 1080-24. But overall, this is geared more for a photographer and less for somebody wanting to shoot video or get into video. It can do video. If you want to vlog with this camera, it is really light for it, but it is also very limiting. So if you're looking to do video, I would suggest get the R or look at something else. This isn't going to be a long-term solution for doing really good or high quality video. And this is honestly what I would more expect out of a photo camera nowadays. I'm really amazed at the video features that Canon and Nikon and Sony pack into the mirrorless in their DSLRs. So this would be more what I would expect stills cameras to be. So geared for a photographer. What I mean by that is when I'm sitting here looking through the menu and reading the specs for this camera, I found a couple of cool features that I wanted to test out a little bit more. First one being an intervalometer. Built-in intervalometer. I don't know why this is not built into more cameras, but I was happy to use it in here, and that way I wouldn't have to carry around a separate remote, a separate controller, something to do a time lapse. It's all built into here. Just set the number of shots. Although I did think it was weird, you can only set up to 99 shots, but they did add an unlimited shot option, which was really cool. Just FYI, if you do the unlimited shot option, pretty much the only way I found to stop it was just to kill the camera, shut the camera off. But this does give you the ability to shoot a time lapse in RAW, which is pretty awesome. Gives you a lot of flexibility with control of your image in post-production. A lot more than you would get with just shooting a time lapse in a video format. The next feature I thought was pretty cool and very interesting that they added it to such a low, I'm not even gonna call this a low-end camera, but a lower priced camera, is focus bracketing. Now, I've never really worked with focus bracketing or focus stacking myself. I know what it is, I know how to do it, I've done it before for other people, but it's kind of a neat feature to have built in here. So if you're out shooting a landscape and you want that foreground all the way to the background just as sharp as can be, you can turn on focus bracketing and let that take a series of photos focused in different spots. So the way it works in here is you want to make sure you focus on the closest point to you, and from there the camera automatically takes a picture, refocuses here, takes a picture, refocuses here, takes a picture, refocuses here. You see how that goes. So it's kind of a neat feature to have. And then the other thing that I thought of that this could be really cool for is if you're shooting a really shallow depth of field and you want to make sure you get exactly the focus you want. You can turn on focus bracketing and then hit the shutter and let the camera take a series of photos, and then in post-production just pick out that one photo with that exact focus that you wanted. And I can see that being really useful, especially if you're having trouble getting that focus right where you want it to be. Just let the camera take a few and pick the best one. Something else I really did like about this camera is they put the dial back on the top versus the R, which has a screen. I feel like this just makes it so much faster to go back and forth between different modes. If I want to shoot aperture priority, if I want to shoot manual, or if I want to flip right over to video mode. Boom, it's right there. Just one thumb, I can flip right where I want to be. By the way, P is for professional. That's how professionals shoot. Just saying. As far as feel with this is like a really, really small, nice, light camera, but with also giving you the flexibility of throwing really, really nice lenses on, or a really small lens for travel. I kind of want to take this on my next trip. But I do want a little bit more versatility than just a 35. One issue I did run into, and hopefully this is gonna get fixed soon, is that Lightroom does not read the CR3 files from the RP yet. So I had to go through a workaround and convert them to DNGs. I don't know how much, if any, image quality loss I lost in that conversion. Now, as far as quality goes with this camera, I did find it pretty comparable to the R. It wasn't quite as good, but I'm gonna say it was like 95% as good. And that's just getting really nitpicky with messing around with exposures in post-production. As an overall, you're not gonna notice much of a difference in the photo mode between the EOS R and the EOS RP. Now in photo mode, this actually did really nice. So the things I don't like about this camera, you can only shoot 24 frames per second in 4K. Once again, I'm going back more towards the video side of things because I'm looking at this camera as somebody who wants to shoot video and do stills. So my complaints about this camera is you can only shoot 24 frames per second in 4K, and you can only shoot 4K in 24 frames per second. If you want to shoot 1080, you have to shoot 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. The other thing that makes this more of a lower end camera is the battery and the memory card share a slot. I don't know why cheaper cameras do that, but they do, and it always is kind of a giveaway is this is maybe a little bit less expensive of a camera. The other thing that bothers me is this does not take the same battery as the EOS R or the 5D series, which all take the same battery, which is very nice when you buy a new camera. You don't have to go buy a bunch of new batteries. So if you already have the 5D series, those batteries do not work in here. And while I'm on the topic of the battery, it is actually kind of a small battery. So if you're gonna take this and take it on trips or use it all day, you're probably gonna wanna buy an extra battery or two. So other than the lack of video features and the different battery than the R, I actually like this camera. It's pretty solid. It feels good. It doesn't feel like a really plasticky cheap camera. It feels solid. It feels like it's built with quality in mind. It's also small, it's light. It's easy to travel around with, so that's always a big plus. It's only slightly smaller than the Big Brother R, just slightly. Okay, like I said, I've only had a few days to give this camera a test, but I think I give it a fair shake, put it through a couple different situations. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to put those down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I haven't run this through every scenario or know it totally intimately, but I'll do my best to answer your questions. Anyway, appreciate it guys. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button down there, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and I will see you guys next time.